Good morning, everybody. How we doing? It's Tuesday, and that means it's Politics Day over here at the Common Good Podcast. And I don't know. There seems like there's always something going on in the world of politics these days. So we've got some things to talk about today.
August 13th edition. So we're in what should be in politics the sort of dry season, the dog days of summer. A time when people don't pay attention to the important things. But man, old Kamala Harris has come on the scene and has people all fired up, ready to go. It's like an old refrain from 2008. The Joy Brigade is touring the country. Meanwhile, the Prince of Darkness is back on X. And the ecstasy little brigade last night from the Prince of Darkness did not go as expected, but a lot of things. Hey, but in Minneapolis, sunny, beautiful, 82 degrees, low humidity, lightest of breeze, clear sky. Thank you, Canada, for not dumping a bunch of burning trees down on us this week. And things just couldn't be more lovely outside in the great state of Minnesota, which many more people are interested in Minnesota now. That Tim Walz is the, I guess, presumptive vice president of the United States. Is it too soon to say that? Is it too soon to work?
It is, yes.
Presumptive nominee. Presumptive nominee. How are things in Arkansas?
Things in Arkansas are great. I mean, it's sunny and muggy, and we're probably going to get some thunderstorms today. I really need to mow, but it rained yesterday, and we are Vanessa and I are hosting a fundraiser tomorrow for a congressional candidate, a candidate for Common Good, Caitlin Draper, who's running for United States Congress. And so I got a lot of house cleaning to do, and I got to mow the lawn.
Wow. Does this mean you're going to bag? You're going to leave like the tracks and the little clumps of overly wet, long grass? I'm not saying my neighbors do that, but my neighbor does that. You just leave it laying around in the yard and say, well, I cut it, but you get out the bag and clean it all.
Yeah, I'll put the bag on the mower. I'm probably need to mow it twice today and once tomorrow to get it to a respectable height. It is way out of control. Oh yeah, it's way out of control. And I've got the electric mower that I absolutely love it, but it doesn't have a ton of power. And the hotter it is, the faster the batteries run out, and gotta cycle those through, and then they're too hot to recharge, and it's a whole thing.
Maybe Elon Musk could get on that and make a better lawnmower.
I feel like that would require Elon Musk knowing how to make things that work.
Hey, what brand?
A little preview. Let's a little preview there. The blue one from Lowe's.
Is that a Cobalt?
Cobalt, yes. Thank you, Dan.
I know I'm
not. This is, remember the story of Jacob and Esau from the Bible. Jacob, hairy man who goes out and hunts with his dad. Esau, hairy man who goes out and hunts with his dad. Jacob stays home with his mom. Smooth man, makes food in the kitchen.
Smooth man.
Yeah. It's a little gender bending story that they have in the Jewish scriptures.
A bit of a there's hairy men and there's smooth men.
Wow.
Dan, hairy man, knows Cobalt. Smooth man, who's like, I don't know, the blue one. Smooth man.
I bought it and haven't used it. We did the same. I have a Toro brand, and then had to buy the extra battery because our yard is so big that there was just no way. So now we have two batteries. And when I said to the person at the little hardware store about this, I said, well, can I just get another battery? And she said, well, at that point, you might as well buy the snowblower version. That's only as expensive as buying a battery, which wasn't quite true. but pretty close.
Yeah. We
Is
have,
like
yes.
a lawnmower
Yeah.
and a battery, or you can get just for 75% of that, just the battery.
Yeah. Yeah. We have the lawnmower. We have the weed whacker. We have the chainsaw.
Yeah.
And we have the greatest of all, the leaf blower.
Yeah, sure.
Absolutely love the leaf blower. And, they all use the same batteries and, switch them and it's great.
The problem is when you have a full day of yard work,
Oh,
you're not going to get a mow and
no.
trim the 1-inch trees and get the weed whacker out and get the blower going with
Yeah.
that one set of batteries. Like you're out of juice.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
And yeah, we've got to cycle them through. It's a whole rigmarole.
Yeah, it's and I'm all for it. We have the same thing. We have different brands between our things and our lawnmower, but same deal. And I have now the same battery anxiety that I have with my phone. It's just constant looking at it and being like, "Oh, I'm at
What
79."
percentage?
Calculate how much I'm going to do during the day and what am I going to do and am I going to be done? It's a lot of worry. I'm all for it.
You worry about your phone charge?
Oh, constantly.
I have not worried about my phone charge in years.
Does your phone run out of battery by 8 p.m.? Are you a heavy user?
My phone is being charged right now. Do you not just, if you sit down someplace, you just put it someplace where it can charge?
Well, here's the problem with that. Then you
Then
reduce
you might reduce your battery capacity.
your battery capacity, and then you have to be charging it all the time. And then the day when you don't
Well,
have the charge,
listen.
you run out of battery.
I'm sorry. Your battery capacity, if you're worried about, do you want to worry about your battery capacity a year from now, or do you want to worry every single day about your battery, giving way?
An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, Robert. So yes.
Well, I mean, can you, by worrying, add a single percentage to your battery life?
If it causes me to change my behavior.
You know who should have been worrying about battery percentages?
Dan's done with the happy talk. Dan is done with the happy talk.
Should have been paying attention to more technical things like batteries and connectivity and formerly Twitter platforms. Elon Musk had some trouble with his own platform that he bought and owns and runs. Couldn't get a live stream started with the former failed president of the United States, Donald Trump.
Literally, could Donald Trump fail at more things? I mean, just a professional failure, this guy. Twitter seems to work fine. For all the years that Trump was banned because he was using the platform to incite violence and an insurrection against the United States Congress. Then he comes back on for one day. He's not there for a full 24 hours. He puts up half a tweet, which is wrong information, has to repost it. And then the system goes down. And Elon Musk, if you don't know this story, friends, wanted to host Donald Trump for a vibey chit chat, as he called it. Not a hard-hitting expose of questions, but a booster with his candidate, just talking it up. And they promised it would break new ground. And instead it broke Twitter's failing infrastructure. Likely because, as Donald Trump likes to say about Elon Musk, he's the greatest cutter ever of employees.
It's possible he fired the people that made things like this work.
Yeah. Look, if you're going to run a giant global technological platform, you kind of hope Iran can't just throw some ones and zeros your way and break it for you on the day that you're supposed to have Donald Trump on. At least they didn't say what they said last time this happened, when the system failed, when Ron DeSantis, white boot wearing governor, Florida governor, was on with Elon Musk. And they said what broke it last time was too many people, that they had a system that wasn't robust enough. Now they're choosing to blame not the American people, but the Iranian government.
Is this a real thing that's out? Like Trump and Elon are saying it was Iran that messed their Twitter up? Or is this just in the atmosphere of...
I heard that Twitter is saying there was a security attack on their system, and they believe it came from Iran or Iran. I'm not sure how Elon would pronounce that. I don't know if he's a tomato or tomato guy. I don't know if he's an Iran or an Iran person. But yes, that's my understanding.
So when they were not able to start the live stream and the Twitter Spaces, there was apparently there was a point at which Elon left and all you could hear was Donald Trump breathing, which there was, and then everything went blank, went black. Then when he came back on and they actually got it started, Elon claimed that there was a DDoS attack. Is that what it is? Maybe someone that's in the chat can explain what a DDoS attack is. Brandon. But apparently, a DDoS attack, if that's actually what it was, really cannot be so targeted as to take down one Twitter Space event.
Yeah,
there were other Twitter Spaces happening, but this one was targeted. It's just impossible for that. It seems to me that, the far greater narrative is so many people tried to log on that they broke the internet. That's a positive that's a positive momentum thing. That's a Harris's crowds are so big we've got to change venues to an airport hangar kind of thing. That's the kind of story that would make a lot more sense. The challenge with that is that you can see how many people are in a Twitter Spaces event, and Donald Trump,
that number, you're in real trouble.
Yeah, and so Donald Trump, in the course of this conversation with Elon Musk, talked about how there were 60 million people watching, and everyone could see that there was 1.2 million people watching.
Yeah, and I love Peggy who says, "Okay, that's it. I'm not going to Mars with Elon." Great one, Peggy. Well said. Look, Elon Musk is a lot of things, and he is spoken of with
contains multitudes,
many an adjective. He is not actually a great engineer. That's not his thing.
Yeah,
he has made very good choices in a lot of industries that he's chosen to be in, and he's successful at driving profits for himself and for his investors. But he's not particularly good at any of this. And you know what he's not very good at? Describing what the United States of America ought to be. Frankly, Elon Musk, just code and shut up. Remember the people and shut up crowd? Okay,
yes.
Remember how all your people wanted to tell football players and basketball players and entertainers that your limited experiences that made you a champion in your field do not translate? Well, you're proving this to be true. The kinds of things that Elon Musk wanted to talk about with Donald Trump, a former president and now felon, are not the kinds of things that the United States of America needs. And this is the fundamental problem with Donald Trump's candidacy. It's not, I don't think the problem with Trump right now is that Donald Trump can't seem to respond to Kamala Harris, or that he's thrown on his heels and he's going in the wrong direction. The problem with Donald Trump is he's saying exactly the things that he said in 2015 and 16 and 17 and 18 and 19 and 20 and 21 and 22 and 23, and it's not working in 24. People are tired of the guy. They're not interested. They're not interested in Elon Musk having a little chit chat Literally, no one cares if it wasn't Elon Musk. And when Donald Trump needs Elon Musk to get him attention, Donald Trump is in trouble. And he's got to hate it as much as he felt that he has to go, because what they're going after, and this is the campaign of this, they're going after the young male demographic, the non-voting young male, predominantly white, but not exclusively. That's the audience they're going after. And they're trying to get into it with the bro crowd and the Silicon Valley bro crowd. And they want to go down that's why they picked JD Vance, because they thought he would be a lean in to the young male anti-America narrative for the young disgruntled male voting population that didn't turn out in 2020 the way they were supposed to. They believe that that's their ticket to winning the White House, and Elon Musk is their guy to bring them there.
Yeah, I read an article this morning about how Barron Trump is playing a much bigger role in the campaign this time around, obviously, than he would have 4 years ago or 8 years ago. But that role is introducing Donald Trump to young male influencers, YouTubers, TikTok and YouTube, bringing him to a whole new audience. Now, what's super interesting about this is that for years, Democrats have courted the youth vote. And for years, Democrats have touted how excited young people are, the voter registration campaigns on college campuses, the excitement of the youth vote, and over and over and over again, like Lucy pulling the football from Charlie Brown, the youth vote has let Democrats down. Like when push comes to shove, young people have better things to do than to go vote.
Yeah, and they've voted the same percentages.
Yes,
for decades.
Like decades. And so it's kind of funny seeing Donald Trump's campaign making a mistake. Well, not making a mistake, but falling for the same narrative that the youth vote is going to be the thing that saves you, and going after it. This is the same as Bill Clinton going on MTV and talking about boxers and briefs and the whole rock the vote thing. Like, it's just hilarious to see, and this Elon Musk interview fits in this whole line of young male voters. And do they turn out? I'm not sure they turn out.
Well, Elon Musk is willing to spend somewhere in the neighborhood of $45 million a month through his PAC to try and turn out 800,000 disgruntled and out of the system voters in the 5 swing states. That's their plan. That's what they're doing. We do a similar thing at Vote Common Good. We try to get swingy voters.
Oh my goodness.
Swing states.
Could you imagine what we could do with $45 million a month?
Doesn't take $45 million a month. Doesn't take it. If you've got to spend, no, okay, things are expensive. It's expensive infrastructure if you run a shitty platform for white supremacists to share their ideas. And by the way, anybody still on X? Is it still a thing?
Rob raising
it's my go-to social media. It's my go-to social media.
How's your Twitch account? Is your Twitch account?
I don't have a Twitch account.
The Venn diagram between young men with Twitch accounts and the people active on Twitter has to be 100%. And then the bots, I don't know who else is. I mean, a couple of journalists probably, but anyway. Yeah. Elon Musk, if he believes that to help Donald Trump win, it's going to cost $45 million a month. Let's just say for the next 3 months. So we'll put it at, I don't know, $140 million, $130 million. Why don't you just say to people, promise you'll vote for Donald Trump and I'll send you $100?
Seriously.
You could
'cause that's
literally buy the vote.
not legal.
Is it not?
No.
Is it not? Who doesn't get to say to someone, I'll pay you $100 to vote?
I don't think that's legal. It's not legal.
Who's breaking the law? What law? What law is being broken? If I said to you,
I'm pretty sure there's a law.
Can I pay someone to vote?
Yes. Yeah. Hey, Chat GPT that. Don't take Google. We need the smart kids.
But I do wonder, what are you doing with all that money? Like, where is it? Ad buys? Because it's not like he's paying for.
It should be Venmo transfers.
That's not legal.
It's not. Yes, it is.
I don't think they care if it's legal or not. That's a different question. But
you can't say vote for this candidate, perhaps. But if your idea is voter turnout, private business in this country,
couldn't even give out water bottles in Georgia to voters.
In line. You could give them, remember, you could give them a water bottle down the street, but once they were in line, I mean, it's just the ultimate in fundamentalism, right? Like, you can look, but don't touch. You can touch, but don't feel. You can feel, but I'm just saying, if Elon Musk, I don't know where that was going, where Elon Musk was going to really impact all this, what do you do? Like this bouncing sort of, we're going to spend a bunch of money on ads and let you hear Donald Trump because you're a 22-year-old person that hasn't wanted to vote, and then you're going to hear Donald Trump say something, and that's going to get you. If he's spending, my point is, if he's spending $45 million a month, they're not just running ad campaigns. That's my point.
Yeah.
Look, I wish there were rules about this kind of stuff, but I think you can motivate people. A private business, private person can motivate an individual to do all kinds of things, and to say, hey, you vote, I'll give you $10, I'll give you $100. Don't know who you voted for, but I'm going to pretty much guess that you're going to vote for somebody I wanted to. There's no law that says I can't give you money to do that thing as a private business, not related to a campaign. You're just motivating people to mow my lawn, carry my groceries, deliver my food, or go to a voting booth.
Speaking of mowing lawns, the lawnmowers arrived outside, so I'm going to close the window.
Your neighbor hires a person?
My neighbor runs a lawn mowing business, yes, and so they have. I should hire. I should hire them.
Rob, do you think it's illegal to pay someone to mow your lawn? Do you feel like there's a lawn mowing rule?
No.
Are you convinced that you can't pay?
No, I think it's the type of thing. I think it's the type of thing that
mow your lawn.
I should. I think it's the type of thing like you have with gambling sometime, where like you can't. Someone can't buy a chance. Like if they buy a chance, it's like some raffle or something. They're not allowed to do that. So it's like you buy something else and you get the raffle ticket along with it as the,
that's the nonprofit. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Is the way around.
Yeah,
so it's like
there's probably some cute workarounds that they could.
Yeah, sure. I can't pay you to vote, but I could pay you to walk to that school over there where voting is happening.
Yes.
Yeah.
I could pay you for a lot of things. My point is, they're going to be up to this kind of nonsense. Like Elon Musk is not going to spend $130 million doing all he can to get his guy in by just running a bunch of ads. Whatever they're up to,
Maybe he should use some of that money to just hire more employees at X.
Yes.
So his platform works. I did love this response from Kamala HQ. Did you guys catch this statement on Donald Trump's interview with Elon Musk? It said, our statement on ... whatever that was. But they're nailing it with the social media. They say Donald Trump's extremism and dangerous Project 2025 agenda is a feature, not a glitch, of his campaign, which was on full display for those unlucky enough to listen tonight during whatever that was on X.com.
Yeah, and the other thing they did is they retruthed on Truth Social a message from Donald Trump talking about how Ron DeSantis's campaign launch, which was also launched on X Spaces and also crashed, and so this was Trump making fun of Ron DeSantis and his campaign for not being able to run a smooth X launch. And here it was, Donald Trump having the same experience, and the Harris campaign just retruthed that, which was
as
perfect.
Rich guys who can't run a live stream.
Yes.
In the year 2024. That's a nice
2024.
touch.
And one of the two rich guys owns X and
owns the platform.
Can't figure out how to run it. But again, the incompetence that we've all pointed out for coming on a decade now with Donald Trump just doesn't seem to bother people. You know what does bother the Trump world? The raging success of Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. It is eating at them like you can't believe. I heard part of the interviews last night that Trump gave with his benefactor Elon Musk. I think overlord is too strong of a word, but if you're more comfortable with that, then fair enough. With his wealthy overlord, because the one thing we know about Donald Trump, he ain't got no money. He owes $84 million to E. Jean Carroll, and he can't pay it. He has lawyers' bills that he can't afford, so he's out pandering on proverbial street corners to get other people to pay his lawyer bills. So he doesn't have any money. So he's got an overlord that's helping him do what he wants. And in that interview, did you hear Trump talk about how attractive Kamala Harris is?
No.
As a beautiful woman. Oh, not only did he say Time Magazine had a cover story of her and it was a drawing, but made her just beautiful. And then he goes,
made her look like Melania.
Yeah, and he said she is actually beautiful. And you know who she really kind of looks like? Our great First Lady, Melania. This is a man who had an affair with Melania while married to another woman and then divorced that other woman and then sexually assaulted E. Jean Carroll, Donald Trump, and then defamed E. Jean Carroll for having told people that Donald Trump assaulted her, and Donald Trump lost that court case in part because in his deposition in that court case, when he was shown a picture of E. Jean Carroll, he said, well, that's my previous wife, Marla. He confused the woman that he was accused of and found guilty of defaming after sexually assaulting her with his own wife, and then says that Kamala Harris looks like his current wife, who he had an affair with to cheat on the previous wife.
I'm going to need to whiteboard this out. It's too many wives and too many.
Somebody.
And we haven't even talked about Stormy Daniels.
Somebody needs to help Donald Trump stop saying this stuff. She's really beautiful and looks like my current wife.
That's such
Donald,
a weird, creepy thing to say.
With Kamala Harris, so you can dump Melania, this is a really bad idea. I know this is how you do it, but this is a really bad idea. But the fact that Donald Trump said that and then he went on to say, and she's actually a beautiful person, so we'll just leave it at that. It is killing him that he knows that the United States of America has a candidate that he thinks is beautiful, and people are rallying around by the tens of thousands to just get inside of an arena or an airport hangar to be part of this campaign. It is a freight train of enthusiasm, and Donald Trump is standing on the tracks. Yeah. And it's coming barreling down on him. So he's so out of his mind about this stuff that he's thinking the best thing he can do is go for a bunch of young men who don't vote and spend their time on X.
Yeah. So they're
really something.
Two plane-based scandals this week. I'm curious to get your takes on. The first one, you mentioned Kamala Harris and Tim Walz doing an event at an airport hangar in Detroit. They rolled up to an airport hangar in Air Force Two, and then did an event, and there's been pictures of this event, and Donald Trump suggested on Truth Social that the picture was fake, that it was AI generated, that there was no way that he could have that many people, that she could have that many people show up to hear her speak, and they had faked it, and using the lack of reflection of people in the fuselage side of the aircraft. It's just so under his skin.
Eating away at the man like it's nobody's business. Literally saying it was AI. We caught them. There was no one there. This is what the Trump team has to deal with. And they tried to professionalize the campaign. They thought that after the assassination attempt, he would become more serious. Of course, that lasted less than a week. And the next thing you know, he's out writing on his own social platform, which I think is failing faster than X. I'm not sure which. I mean, I think it's like that question that you had in junior high, where if you drop a heavy stone and a light stone off of a rooftop, which one's going to hit the ground sooner? And it has nothing to do with the weight, because that's not how gravity works. Well, I'm not sure if X is failing faster or if Truth Social is failing faster. But he wrote on that platform, we caught him. They faked it. It was AI. They couldn't have it. She's beautiful. She actually looks like my wife.
Yeah.
There's
and then Donald Trump had it.
Shouldn't be the candidate. It's unconstitutional for her to be the candidate.
It was a coup.
Joe Biden has to be the candidate. He's going to sue,
presidential coup,
and try to tell the American people that she is not constitutionally eligible to be the candidate.
She didn't receive a single vote.
It's so clever.
Yeah, Edward in the chat brings up a point. It's not really about whether it's true or false. Like, you can just look at other pictures of this rally and see, oh yeah, there were a lot of people here. But Edward says the campaign is setting the stage for people to doubt the validity of the vote in November.
Yep.
They're also laying the framework to doubt what you see with your own eyes.
Your own lineup.
Yeah. Oh, you see a big crowd for Kamala? AI. You see more votes coming in for Kamala Harris? AI.
Yep. Fakes.
Yeah, but the people that are going to believe that are going to believe that anyways. I don't I think there's baked in a large percentage of people that are not going to believe the results of the November election, no matter what. It's just, just baked in. Not the only plane scandal of the week, guys.
Yes, that's right.
Well, hang on, Rob, before we jump to another plane.
Yeah.
I do think that those same people would not have thought that it was faked had Donald Trump not been telling them to think that it was faked. We have not had a history of Republican voters in this country saying in mass, the election we lost, we actually won. We just have not had that. Not until Donald Trump came on the scene were Republicans feeling that that was a thing they had to say. So I'm not entirely sure it's baked in if Donald Trump doesn't tell them as the cult leader, this is the thing you should think about this. So if you can break the validity of that argument early enough, there's a percentage of people that could weaken that argument. Where after the 2020 election, there was something like 30% of Republicans who thought the election wasn't fair. And now it's like 75% of Republicans. So they have been converted to saying the election in 2020 was fraudulent. They didn't believe it at the time, and they believe it now. So that's the real problem, that Donald Trump, I don't think he is working off of an existing audience around election integrity. I think he's creating it.
That's interesting. And
them, this is the way to think about this. There's no chance that secretaries of state in Republican-led states are going to say our voting system in this state is inaccurate,
right,
unless Donald Trump tells them to say that.
Yeah, the implications of that are just massive. Because it's like Elon's, lie about how, that there was some kind of technological attack on X, which caused listen, you don't go in and just change the results in one race if you're going to do it.
That's it.
Like if you can go in and change the results of a race, then why do the Democrats control the Senate? Why is the margin in the House so close?
Yeah.
Like, this is just not what you do. It's not what you do. But not the only plane scandal.
Robert in the chat. And tell us where Robert comes from, Dan. Robert
I think Robert's cracking a joke here. This is right. I think Robert's cracking a joke.
He says his cousin's son works at this airport.
He says, yes, that's fake. My cousin's son works at the airport. That's a great joke if it's a joke, because I was going to say, this is the kind of thing
100%.
Oh.
100% that's a joke.
Oh, we're waiting for Robert to confirm his
joke.
I got you, Robert. I got you.
Good one,
Robert. What Robert's pointing out is, and if you talk to Trumpers, and I do this a lot, I've got Casey on my text. We're doing this all the time. This is the way people describe this stuff. My cousin's son did a thing. You're like, have you ever talked to him? No, I talked to somebody who talked to somebody. This is the way it works every time. There's very little firsthand knowledge, but it's presented as full on truthing. And when you say, where's it come from? They'll say, well, it was in the media. And then they'll tell you that the media, like if you saw JD Vance on this week, the Sunday morning news show, he says, the problem is the media is the one saying this cat lady stuff and all the rest of this, right? So he's like, the media. If they'd play the whole quote. Then JD Vance says to John Carl, the interviewer, Kamala Harris was the border czar. And John Carl interrupts him and says, look, she was never the border czar. We don't have border czar. And then JD Vance said this, well, yeah, but the media was calling her that. So that's why we call her that. So in one moment, he says, on my statements, the problem is the media doesn't say it right. And then when he's challenged on the facts, he says, well, the media calls her that. That's why we call her that. Mm-hmm. So this is the thing that goes on constantly with this group. And it's not as if you can find politicians all over who misspeak or double talk or change their mind. This is the playbook inside of every interview. My cousin's son knows a thing. Well, I don't know if I've actually spoken to him, but it's in the media. It's fact that then backpedals into it's just in the media. This is the constancy of what any conversation. And if you
And
have a
then-
Mac reporter in your life, this is what they're doing. It's not what
And
all
when a
Republicans.
fact is presented, like JD Vance, you said this thing about cat ladies. Oh, the media said that. That was the media. Like, no,
Yeah.
the media played the clips of you saying the thing. Like,
Right. Right. But why did they report that? Because they're trying to get it. Like, it's just the constancy of this whole thing.
yeah. Hey, Rob, was there another airplane in the news?
Yeah, there was another airplane in the news. Doug, do you know this story?
The one from Brazil that fell out of the sky?
No. Donald Trump flew to Montana. There was some kind of his plane was diverted, and then he ended up flying. This isn't the plane story that I had, Dan.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Donald Trump flew on Jeffrey Epstein's plane to his rally.
What?
Donald Trump flew on Jeffrey Epstein's plane to his rally. Let me get
The
the
dead
story.
guy still has a plane?
I got it.
You got it.
You're saying
here? This is from Miami Herald. Former President Donald Trump's campaign flew in a blue Gulfstream jet formerly owned by sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein, using it to travel to several campaign fundraisers over the weekend. Trump en route on his own private plane to a campaign event in Bozeman last week unexpectedly landed in Billings because of a mechanical problem. Also, parenthetically, probably mechanical problem, not the thing. He landed in he landed in Billings and changed planes because he owes the town of Bozeman a lot of money for previous campaign events there that he hasn't paid for, and there were some threats that they were going to confiscate his plane because they owed him money. So he switched planes, and the plane he got on to another large Gulfstream with a serial number that matches a plane once owned by Epstein, his former neighbor in Palm Beach, the campaign confirmed. Donald Trump flying around the country in Jeffrey Epstein's plane.
What are the
plane
odds?
by Jeffrey Epstein was somehow in Montana, just happened to be there. That's what
the plane that
Trump
he used to own.
Claiming. So the Trump team is claiming we had mechanical problems and had to stop short of where we were flying to. And it just so happened there was another plane I could hop on. Turned out it was owned by Jeffrey Epstein when Jeffrey Epstein was still alive, and now is owned by someone else, just happened to be there. That's their idea.
And a decal with the words Trump 2024 was placed on Epstein's old plane for the trip.
So there was some forethought. You don't just get an airplane decal.
Oh,
You're
no.
not carrying that with you.
Dan, have you not been to Airplane Decals R Us? you just swing in, get the
Rush
one that you
order
want.
airplanedecals.com.
Like, do we want the Let's Go Brandon one? Do we want, like, well, which would,
Hey,
don't tread on me.
speaking
No, let's
of,
go.
of signs and stuff, have you guys seen just the string of failures in like placards and signage at these rallies? The image on the screen, they're holding up all these "You're fired" signs behind Trump. And in tiny print, there's Lion Kamala. But it just looks like they're holding up. At first, I thought protesters had infiltrated Trump's rallies and were holding up "You're fired" signs.
Yeah. Have you seen the image of JD Vance with the big sign behind him? I'm not sure.
It just says
what
Kamala.
It says Kamala something, but
chaos.
The people, Kamala chaos or something like that. But the people are covering up the second word, so it looks like JD Vance is speaking at a Kamala Harris rally.
It's amazing. Yeah,
just these people are not good at this.
Such amateur hour stuff.
Like this airplane thing, though. Rob, you've got my mind just running. Okay, so back to the
insane, isn't it?
They come up short. They say we have mechanical problems. We have to somehow switch planes quickly.
Yeah.
There just happens to be an airplane there that There's either pilots just also ready and waiting or available. Someone privately owns this thing. They happen to have decals available to them that say Trump 2024
in Billings, Montana.
in Billings, Montana. Just happened for that to take place. And you're saying that simultaneous to that, there was talk of confiscating Donald Trump's private property or the private property of the campaign because of unpaid bills in Bozeman?
Yes.
That is incredible.
It's really a lot there.
Yeah. And I mean, here's the other thing. And you know, we had this conversation about the whole, you know, JD Vance couch thing. It's totally believable. Like
Yes.
it is like, okay, that's crazy, but yeah, checks out. Like plausible.
Mm-hmm.
Of course that's what happened. Of course that's what, I mean, the idea that Donald Trump's plane just had a problem that couldn't get it from Billings to Bozeman, right?
Yeah.
There's the problem. Like, I don't know how far Billings to Bozeman is, but that would be shocking that the better choice would be to land it early and then try to switch planes and then it's fixed by the time you got back. Come on. I bet people are going to be asking for some flight records on this. And you know what's even worse about this whole thing? Do you know what the name of Trump's airplane is?
Trump Force One?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trump Force One.
That's
you know what the president, the duly elected president of the United States flies on? Air Force One.
Mm-hmm.
It's managed by the United States government Air Force. And Donald Trump loves a turn of phrase like his steaks and his ties and his casino and his buildings and his university, that he thinks that Trump Force One is a great play.
It is.
The United States military. A man who
there is so much to criticize Donald Trump for. Naming your plane Trump Force One is not one of the things. I think it's clever.
It is stolen valor.
Oh wow.
Not a military plane. We all know what a military plane is. That's owned and operated by the most elite, selfless people that humankind has ever produced.
Oh,
those
my goodness.
Who choose
thick.
The government employees working for the military. These are the people that should get on our private airplanes sooner than everyone else. They deserve lifetime health care.
Yeah.
Pension at 40.
Do we, as does Trump.
One is to act as if you are equal to the United States Air Force. And it needs to stop. Yeah. See, this is the nonsense that they would say. This is the stuff that JD Vance says about Tim Walz. If any Democrat called their airplane something that sounded like Air Force One, you don't think the pro-military crowd of Republicans would be screaming? Of course they would, because they would say that is a term that is reserved for only the truest of patriots. But when it's Donnie,
free pass. Well, he's still the president.
Well, that's probably. But then why doesn't he just call it Air Force One? Like, I am the president. I won the election. This is the true Air Force One.
Air Force One, great movie. Trump's campaign was hacked, apparently.
Yeah.
Listen, folks.
You know how?
Did we not learn anything from John Podesta changing his password in a phishing scam? You know, someone using an AOL account. Come on, people.
Did you hear how they got access to it? Roger Stone's email.
Yes, Roger Stone's
email. Roger Stone. Of course it was Roger
Stone. Fished?
Yep. That guy will click on. I get these texts and emails all the time. Sort of,
Yeah.
Young European women who want to reach out and say hello.
Oh.
They've seen, yes, they've seen my profile.
Yeah.
The one I got the other day
Mhm.
was a text message
Yeah.
that said, "Hey, Dr. Brackett, I'm trying to schedule an oral exam or a tooth filling or something. Can you get back to me? I couldn't schedule online." I'm like, okay, here we go. So I write back, "Hey, yeah, I can do a lot of things, but I can't fix your teeth." Wrong email. Next thing you know, "Oh, are you sure you don't want to fix my teeth?" With a picture. Roger Stone would click on that link.
Mm.
Rudy
Careful, man.
Giuliani would click on that link. There is no doubt that
Apparently what was
don't know
stolen.
not to click on a link.
What? Oh yeah, totally. Never. What was stolen was a dossier, 271 pages, with the vetting document for JD Vance. First of all, apparently a 271 page vetting document about a potential vice president is apparent. I've never done this, never been through this. Apparently woefully short.
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh,
like
well, there's nothing much to find on JD Vance. They probably just looked and there wasn't much there, and that was that.
woefully short. Also, somebody produces a 271 page document about JD Vance. Is there any chance Donald Trump or anyone in his inner circle actually read that thing?
I bet the professional part of the team did.
Zero,
Old Trump ordered it,
0% chance that
and
Donald
then
Trump read
Barron
that.
told them, "I like men with beards," and that was that. And they
Yep.
got JD.
Are we going to get to see this vetting document at some point? Does it come out?
Oh, it's got to. But any reputable news source. So talking to you, Drudge Report, this is your time to shine.
Drudge is not a news source.
I'm just
Drudge
saying they
isn't.
could post it. They could post it. That's what I'm
They
saying.
could.
This is their time to shine, because
Yeah.
any reputable news agency is not going to take documents that they know or believe were stolen. Like they're going to stay a long way from
Right.
that. So, is the dossier also the place where the photo of JD Vance
Oh no!
drag came out, or was that? I looked like maybe he was in
I
college or something. He looked like a younger version of
Yes,
himself.
and yeah, and it looks like a college picture. And
Yeah,
speaking of Drudge, so the Drudge Report, which is my go-to news source, is an
that's right.
aggregator of news stories. Do you know what the headline is with the JD Vance picture?
No, couldn't
The
imagine.
headline is JD drag on ticket.
Oh,
Very clever.
wonderful. I hope he's
So
not reading
funny.
books to children. That's all I.
So funny. Yeah, this is apparently now there's a second photo wearing a man in drag wearing the same wig and costume as in the earlier video snapped by a Yale classmate in 2012.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah,
and here's the thing, like, good
is
for him.
yeah,
Like, we're all out here, like, be
he's not in,
yourself. Don't
Yeah.
just, but don't
yeah,
create policies
Fly your flag,
that
JD.
would incriminate
It-
your own actions. Like, the
this is
hypocrisy is what bothers us.
This is a nothing burger story. It's just, yeah. I mean, it's a college kid goofing around.
Yeah.
There was in my college dorm room. There was a long blonde wig that sometimes got put on, because someone I know, not me, might have gone to a Halloween party as Eve, and secured a Lady Godiva wig from the store, at the encouragement of his pastor, encouraging him to do that, and he went as Eve. And so there was a long blonde wig in my college dorm room, and occasionally it got put on. There's probably pictures out there of someone wearing that. This is a nothing burger story.
Were
It's
you not
just funny.
Samson when you were wearing that? Was it not? You had this long hair that couldn't be cut till the Delilah of your life came along and cut it.
But here's the thing: it would be a nothing burger if the guy where these photos come from weren't actively trying to police how people should present themselves in public.
There it is.
This is a guy that wants to decide for everyone what they should look like, where they should be able to go dressed in certain ways, who they should be able to interact with. That's where it becomes a problem because,
Look, I won a women's swimsuit competition in college.
Yeah, you did.
Because a local bar had a women's swimsuit competition, and they had the apostrophe to read that it was a swimsuit owned by women as opposed to women in swimsuits. So my sister, who is not quite as tall as I am, I'm 6'7", she's 6 feet, had a one piece. I put it on, joined the swimsuit competition, walking across the bar, and of course won. Because
what was the prize? What was the prize?
$100 cash.
Yeah. All right.
And drinks all night.
Yeah,
it was
$100 for you to vote, right?
$100. Do whatever you're gonna do after you get done with that swimsuit. The women in the swimsuit competition were furious.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is
an apostrophe joke played to the nth degree.
Yes, and I mean, this is the problem. This is the problem of men invading women's sports. And listen. Speaking of which, were either of you get into the Olympics?
Yeah,
the Olympics were amazing. Amazing.
Yeah, I've never seen breakdancing quite like it. I mean, I was just drama around Olympic level breakdancing.
Oh,
did you guys know that was an Olympic sport? Was that?
Well, this was the first time, right?
Yeah, and I think it was just kind of a test. Yeah.
But did you know that it was going to be one before it was on your screens? I didn't either. It's
pleasant surprise.
They had to have like Olympic trials for that. Like the system that it takes to get even at one that's whatever it is in the test stages, you still have to build the whole infrastructure of Olympians to this level.
I don't think they fully built that out. I think there was some corners cut in the selection process.
It's the J.D. Vance selection of Olympic sports. Hey, Yabbit says in here that Donald Trump was asked about his campaign being called weird, and he said, they're talking about JD, not me.
Yes.
That's perfect.
You haven't heard that?
I have not. Well, I don't know how that's not.
Yes.
That is fantastic.
The Olympic Games in Los Angeles 2028. Boxing will no longer be a sport. First time in over 100 years, there will not be Olympic boxing.
Because of the violent nature of it and the danger, or what?
No, I don't know. They're just taking a break.
Taking a break.
I don't know. I don't know why. Because they decided
the world are tired. They're like, hey, this is just really dragging us down here. Let's turn it over to the break dancers.
Not the point. Not the point. I'm going for flag football. Flag football.
What?
Well,
flag football.
This is it.
So you're saying I've got a chance?
No, I'm saying the rest of the. Can you imagine the rest of the world lining up against American flag football players? You know, a flag football team from the United States of America composed of NFL players, you know, Patrick Mahomes, and it's going to be hilarious. We're going to absolutely destroy the world.
Isn't tackle football going to be a sport though? Isn't real tackle?
It's flag football that's going to be the sport.
No tackle football.
No, it's flag football that's going to be the sport.
So
I can't wait.
The Summer Olympics have become summer camp. Yeah. It's 3-on-3 basketball.
Beanbags. Is that in
Listen,
yet?
can we talk about the 3-on-3 basketball? Why are pro players not in the 3-on-3 basketball? Like,
Yeah.
why?
Not real basketball.
Are they not allowed?
Yeah, but I mean, there were
3-on-3?
so many NBA players that did not make the team, and
You could have just had the B team of
seriously, the C team from the NBA at like 3-on-3 would have been fantastic.
A major college intramural champions could probably have done well. There's a lot of
might have been who it
level
was
player.
actually.
I think that's exactly. I'm all for there being more Olympic sports. I think the Olympics are just great. Like who couldn't be happy with like high level athletic performance? But it is a strange set of sports that popped up this year. This is old man curmudgeon stuff. I don't care. I don't care about breakdancing. I'm sure it's athletic as they come. It's got to be as athletic as that like archery thing where you're like ride on a horse and then shoot a arrow or whatever you do. What's that? Telemarketing, whatever that is.
Telemarketing.
Telemarketing. What?
No. What's it called? Where you have to do this, where you shoot and you have to do the other thing. No, you have to run too, and or maybe you're skiing. Maybe you're not riding horses. Maybe you're skiing.
That's a winter sport.
I'm just saying, like these kinds of sports are wild. They're who cares? They're all fantastic. They take great skill and dedication. Who cares?
Mm-hmm.
And dodgeball, is that one of them? Wasn't there a dodgeball? Weren't people throwing balls at each other?
No, that was handball. Remember, we were
we were in a Texas corral in wherever.
It was handball. Yeah.
Handball. Yeah, it looked like a cross between soccer and basketball. It looked like a camp game. Listen, I'm thinking Olympic Jenga, like the big Jenga, like the large Jenga that they have like out at breweries. You go to the brewery, you have a couple of beers, and you're playing large Jenga with your friends. I think Jenga ought to be an Olympic sport.
Peggy is cheerleading, not a sport. It's fantastic.
Herman wants egg toss. Egg toss would be excellent. I'm down with that too. Hey,
pass the egg under your chin. That's hard.
Yeah. Yes, the Olympics should be run by youth pastors. Oh my goodness!
Sometime we should unpack all the weird games we did at youth group.
Oh, I
really.
I would, when I was a youth pastor, I would run Banana-ramas. We had, it was a whole night of banana themed games.
There was a lot of awkward sexual energy in those games.
Oh my goodness. There was, let me tell you one story.
A lot of awkward sexual energy.
Was it the plexiglass with the peanut butter?
Let me tell you a story.
Rob Banana-rama.
So when I was a youth pastor back, 1998, 99, I had read in some book or, there was some website or something that would, suggest games. And there was this game. It was like play like a soccer. You get it's like a soccer like game. You get a ball that's not too heavy, that can, one of those large kind of rubber balls. And then you have, you give each of the kids in the youth group, you give them a sock and an orange.
I already don't like this.
Put the orange in the sock, and tie it to your belt. And then you swing that to hit the ball, and you kind of play soccer with it. What it ended up being was a field full of teenagers pelvic thrusting at each other. just stood back, just looked at my other youth leaders, was like, what did we just do? It was just a field of teenagers pelvic thrusting. It was fantastic.
Yeah, we would do this one where you have a piece of plexiglass and there's peanut butter on both sides.
Yeah.
And you have to, two people are trying to clean the peanut butter off simultaneously. But so you're
So their
just
tongues are, like,
making out with a piece of plexiglass in between.
So fantastic. Also, there was apparently I made a lot of sock mistakes when I
Oh
was a
boy.
youth pastor. It's another
JD
one where like
Vance
you
ever get
put
involved or?
flour in a sock and
Mm.
then you hit somebody with it and it poof leaves a little
Mm.
poof mark. Filled up a bunch of socks with flour. These teenagers were swinging them at each other, like hitting each other with clubs. just black and
Flour
blue.
or bars of soap? What'd you put in those?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. It just
Roll of pennies.
apparently I wasn't a very good youth pastor.
We were playing,
Or the
I was
best.
the best.
we were playing night games one time, capture the flag or something, and
Yeah.
running across a field. And honestly, I'm running with this teenage kid, and he runs right into the clothesline.
Yeah.
Like, fortunately, hit him like chest and then up into the throat, and just flipped it. And it was one of the few times, a couple other times, where I really thought a teenager was
Yeah.
going to be harmed or die at
Yeah.
things we did. It was
Totally.
reckless. The reckless things that we did. Youth leader.
Insane.
I cannot believe the church that we were at. Like, nobody ever checked, nobody ever asked. We were just doing things that kids, were willing to do and pummeling themselves. We played a sock game on a volleyball court. And so all the kids, there'd be like 100 of them, would be on this volleyball court, and you had one sock on. And then your goal was to be the last person with a sock on. And you had to rip the sock off the other people. That's the only rule. Take the sock off of somebody else and be the last one. And then when you were out, your sock was off, then you would form a circle around the people still going. And then the circle would get smaller and smaller as there would be just, 2 people left. And it was just barbaric. It was unbelievable. High school age people, anybody who didn't want to get hurt got out fast. Some kids just ripped their sock off immediately and threw it on the ground and had the good sense to step aside. And then some of these high school boys would just it was so, now I think about it, like, it's so inappropriate. It was just a level of, it was MMA, like, for kids that didn't really want to hurt each other, but they didn't know, they're so strong and unable to control their bodies. Just ridiculous.
Yeah. I basically think we need to program the Olympics. It's basically what I'm.
Yeah. Put us in charge.
Summer, the Olympics, and then the very important and really quite inspiring Paralympics, and then Summer Camp Olympics follows. And it's like when the dog companies sponsor the dog Olympics. Both Common Good out of business, but still running the Summer Olympics on X. You can tune in on X to watch.
Well, it'd be great if we didn't have to worry about Donald Trump getting in the White House again, and we could just focus on our Summer Camp Olympics.
And we appreciate Peggy asking if the Vote Common Good only has the Act Blue account. There is a Vote Common Good Act Blue account where you can donate. There's also a Venmo and other places. If you receive something from Vote Common Good that was a different Act Blue, it may have been to donate to the Harris campaign that was a part of an event that we were part of last night. Don't give any money to that one. Give money to the Vote Common Good. They have enough. We don't have enough. So if you have a small amount of money, like $1, $1,000, $10,000, $1 million, you're trying to decide where that should go. Don't pay people to mow your lawn. Take the Ryerson approach and give it to Vote Common Good. I mean, unless you really feel like you have to give it to the campaign that has hundreds of millions, feel free. But if you're having to choose, we ask you to choose us.
Yeah. It feels like we're winding down. I just want to circle back to a comment that was missed from Rob Miller earlier in the chat, who said, Doug is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Doug is wrong about continually charging your phone. That problem was solved 10 to 20 years ago. Keeping your phone charged actually keeps your battery healthy just fine now. Thank you, Rob.
Reading from support.apple.com, all rechargeable batteries are consumable components that become less effective as they chemically age, and lithium batteries are chemically aged. The amount of charge they can hold diminishes, resulting in reduced battery life and reduced peak performance.
No.
So Apple, Rob, says, no, charging your battery has a limited amount of charges per battery, and it diminishes battery life.
But that doesn't
years ago.
No,
My God,
that doesn't mean like you're still charging your battery the same amount. You're just keeping it topped off as opposed to.
That's not what Apple says on there. They say don't do it, and then they try to build something into your system to prevent it by hitting only 80%. Every time you top it off, it hits a full charge and it diminishes the life of your battery. I wish it was solved.
I'm sorry, Doug. A guy on the internet said you're wrong.
I know a guy on the internet said I'm wrong, but you know, Rob.
My cousin's friend actually said,
if I have to stick with Rob or the guy in the guy, is a great phrase, the nice guy in the chat, or support.apple.com.
Yeah.
I wish it was 20 years ago. I wish we'd spend a lot more time fixing batteries than doing a lot of other things, but we have yet. But we're on the verge. And really good news for climate activists. We really are on the verge of a whole new style of batteries at a mass level that will save the environment from the choices that we choose to make. But in the meantime, pay attention to your battery life.
Yeah. Seems like a good way to sign off. Everyone top off those batteries, even though it's probably bad for them.
Careful. Well, you have software in there to prevent the very thing from happening that you're overriding it to do. So don't, there's a reason that it stops charging at 80%. It doesn't want to be topped off. It prevents you from doing it. That's what Rob's saying was, Rob in the chat. What he's saying is that they built software to prevent that from happening. The battery style hasn't changed at all. I wish it has, but we're still using the same old lithium batteries.
I'm still using the same old lithium battery in my 5-year-old iPhone, and it's doing all right. So,
okay. Is it?
I don't think about it. Ever.
Is it though?
Is it really? Have you asked it?
Yeah. Let me ask you this: what percentage in your phone battery gives you panic?
If it's under 20%.
Okay.
Panic? No,
like,
I mean, I never panic. Like 2%, I'm a little worried.
Do you show the percentage amount up in the corner, or do you just have the?
Absolutely.
See, I don't show the percentage amount.
Just going on vibes. Is it green? Is it yellow? Is it red?
Yeah, when it turns red, I'm like, whew, probably ought to plug that in.
And that's why you carry a battery charger with you.
I do, but I often end up borrowing someone else's, like yours, Dan. Yeah. And by often, I mean I think that's happened once. Doug feels he just won the argument. I got to back out now.
Has your battery ever run out on you?
No, it doesn't happen. No.
Because Dan's always there to save the day with a portable battery charger.
Well, either you're carrying around a battery pack,
which I don't,
or you're living a life in which your proximity to an outlet is consistent.
I mean, I might as well just go back to a corded phone, and I'm attached to the wall.
All right, I got to get out of here. Thanks everybody for joining, and we'll see you.
We hope we charged your batteries, friends.
That's cute. That's excellent.
Hope we topped off your batteries. Peggy, Yabbits, Irma,
Rob. I'm here for you, Rob. Appreciate your support.
Hey, did we ever hear back from the humor guy? Was it?
Did he not.
Tell him? That was Robert. No,
we didn't hear back from Robert. But thank you, Robert, for your comment. Jimmy Price, good to see you, Jimmy. Edward,
VS on YouTube really wanted to know, did you guys get to choose? Who decided for you? No idea. I saw it coming in. No idea what he was talking about.
Yeah, VS, just say, Our lizard or overlords told us what to do.
Yep.
Hmm.
Beamed straight in through the 5G chip that I got when I was vaccinated.
Yeah, that's how I got my chip. How'd you get your chip? my vax chip. Where is all that gone? I mean, where are the greatest hits from the MAGA people? I mean, they've left behind so many of their great old gripes.
They like to dust them off every once in a while. Remember, like a couple weeks ago, they were going after Fauci again. I was like, what? Why? Are you...
Wow. You'd think you'd stay on that. I mean, if there was a global takeover of the health system in order to populate people with communication devices, you don't think you'd get tired of talking about that?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe you never thought that. Yeah, it could be. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt on that. All right, y'all. Hey, if you're going to be in Chicago next week, some of us are going to be in Chicago for the Democratic National Convention. Feel free to come by and say hello or reach out, and Rob will introduce you to Rob's Bananarama in Chicago style.
Chicago style.
And we can also do a marshmallow-thon.
Chicago style Bananarama, like Chicago style hot dog.
Yeah, the marshmallow-thon, really fantastic. Best game at the marshmallow-thon. Lick it and stick it.
Thank you. We just
have a great day, everybody.
Literally could have ended 20 seconds. Just so close.
I've been hovering over the end broadcast button
maybe
for
we
30
do
minutes.
Lick it and stick it.